supervisors, and welcome to our guests. Tonight, my speech's title is We Are All Coaches. Now, we know a great number of people who work professionally as coaches, and they can specialize in anything from weight loss to career management. But I'd like to remind all of you that all of us in all walks of life are coaches. We use, whether we know it or not, we use coaching techniques when we're helping to motivate, when we're helping to encourage, and even to understand other people in our lives. So take for an example of trying to help your teenage daughter clean her room, or helping a friend go through a career transition, or maybe even challenging a coworker to pull his or her own weight. There's three main things when you're putting on your coaching hat that you want to think about. One is active listening, the second is clear communication, and the third is non-judgmental evaluation, which meaning to hopefully get to some resolution for the person. So when you put on this coaching hat, you may have already heard this phrase, you want to listen to hear instead of listen to speak. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes, and I know I'm guilty of this, Eve could tell you when we talk, I get so excited about giving advice that it's like I just can't wait for the person to finish their sentence and then give my words of wisdom. So slow down and actively listen to what that person is saying before you respond to them. Now, in the logistical part of all of this, whether it's something as casual as being at home or something more professional, being in the office, you want to be in a space that's private, where you won't get interrupted. And for the example of, let's say, your daughter Claire, who's the messy room girl, if you are talking to her about why is her room even messier than usual, and you're doing that in the kitchen where there's all this hubbub and people are coming in and out, perhaps she's actually more messy than usual, not that she's being lazy, but because she's depressed of a recent breakup. If little brother's coming in and out, she may not be able to tell you like she would if you were in a private situation. So whether at home or work, make sure that you have a nice quiet space where you won't be interrupted, and give it enough time so a true good discussion can occur. And when you want to help someone overcome personal or work challenges, you want to keep the communication very clear. Hopefully positive as you can, but assertive. So going to the, let's say, the coworker that you might need to challenge. Perhaps that coworker is showing up late almost every day, and you need to say something about it. And instead of saying, why are you always late? Well, think about how that person would respond. Wouldn't that make them feel defensive? I know that would make me feel defensive, but you want to do the open-ended question where the person can have time to respond and feel like you also care. So that question would be more like, I'm wondering why it's been harder for you lately to get to work on time. So hopefully that opens up a conversation in which the person can explain what's going on for them. Then you can follow up with how their behavior impacts both themselves and others. So let's talk about the teenage girl. If her room's getting messier and messier, you may note to her that you're noticing that it's increasing her depression. So that's the impact it has on her personally. The coworker who's being continuously late, well, guess what? Other people may be feeling angry at him or her. And so, and that impact may be that they're going to show up late too, and the whole productivity of the company goes down. So when you talk about the impact, it helps the person motivate that change. Okay, so after that, then you want to put on your active listening ear again and really hear how they will respond to that. Perhaps it's an apology or some more explanation, and then it's your job to maybe dig even deeper. Now, the three main things that research has shown where people feel frustrated and get challenged at work are, one, that they don't feel like they've been trained properly. Two, they don't feel like they have time to finish their job. And then three, which goes across the board for both professional and for our personal lives, people just feel overwhelmed and underappreciated. Well, I do. And so that creates challenges, and then people sometimes they shut down or whatever way that decreases their productivity and their happiness in life. So those are ways in which you can open up the conversation. And then lastly, solutions. That's where you want to end your coaching session. Now, it's perfectly fine to give advice. I love giving advice. God knows. Especially if someone asks for it. But ultimately, you want that person to come up with their own solutions. So you can help solicit that. Even after you give some of your words of wisdom, you could sit down and then ask them, okay, so what are some ideas? What are some ideas of how you could keep your room cleaner? What are some ideas of how to get to work on time? And then the person, hopefully in that situation, comes up with their solutions. And that's what you do when you put on your coach's